What's up, man? I'm Miguel. Welcome back to the channel. So for today's video, I'm gonna compare Maison Alhambra, aka Latafa's secondary house's fragrance called Woody Oud Eau de Parfum concentration 80 ml. Pretty nice. Obviously, this is a clone of Tom Ford's Oud Wood, so I'm gonna compare this to Tom Ford's Oud Wood right here. Very small amount, but sufficient enough for me to be able to compare it to Woody Oud. Alrighty. So like I always do, I always like to spray the originals on the right side and then the clone on the left side. So that's what I'm gonna do. Stay tuned. Original. Has some type of funk to it. I'm not a big fan of this funk. Spray some more. Woody Oud. Yeah, some more for you guys. Same type of abrasiveness. The original, I'm getting some type of chocolatey note. I think it's probably some patchouli that's inside. Very interesting. The cologne, I can smell the rosewood right now. It's smelling amazing. Usually when I smell Tom Ford Oud Wood, there's some nice rosewood smell, but right now it's smelling a bit strange. It's very chocolatey. I don't know why. Yeah, I think it's the patchouli giving that effect. The rosewood smell is not that prominent, but maybe it's just because of the weather or how it was stored. Okay, I smell some rosewood, but it's very faint, and the patchouli is taking over most of the fragrance. And there's a slight woodiness that's building up slightly, but that's just the top of the original. Now for the clone. The clone is the rosewood smell that's more prominent, a slight patchouliness inside, and there's more woodiness right now that I'm smelling. You can definitely tell a difference in the top. Maybe it's because the area that I'm in is a bit humid, but the original has more patchouli inside, and the patchouli is very chocolatey. The rosewood is kind of there as well, slightly present, and there's a lot of woodiness, but it's really slight woodiness. It's almost all being dwarfed by the patchouli that's inside of this, and the patchouli on my skin right now is smelling very chocolatey, with hints of woodiness coming in. This fragrance is very airy. It's that woods that you get when there's a bit of wind or sillage that comes off of you. That's that sexiness that comes off of this fragrance. To be quite honest, I like the top from the clone better because it's more rosewood. It's a bit sweet, woody, and it's not super patchouli dominant, but the chocolatiness of the patchouli is great. I like the smell, but when it's a fresher time, I would probably rather have that in a darker, more sweet, woody fragrance that I would like to wear in the winter, more so than an all-rounder. But hey, it is what it is. When the clone dries down, it's starting to smell closer to the original. I have to say though, as soon as you spray that clone, you know right away that it's supposed to be Oud Wood. And that's how you know something is close. If you can smell it, even blindly, and you can already picture the fragrance in your mind, you already know it's the same thing. I have to say, the original is way too light. It's already faint on my skin, and I am not liking that at all. I have to be honest. Okay, that patchouli is coming in the clone right now, and it's smelling very similar. However, the patchouli is not extremely dominant as it was inside of the original. It's well balanced. I think a bit more balanced than inside the original. But the original smells funkier in a way. I have to say it smells more strange, but that's probably the creative aspect that you get from a brand like Tom Ford that always likes to break down the barriers and think outside the box. Alright, now I think I have a good idea of how the fragrance is going to play off on your skin for the rest of it. But I know Tom Ford Oud Wood, and Oud Wood does not smell linear all the way. So from my experience wearing the clone and the original, I can determine that they have 90% similarity. The only difference comes in two places: performance and also the opening. When you get the opening of the original, you get more patchouli. The rosewood is there too, very nice, very smooth, and the woods. But when it completely dries down, that's when you get a bit of that vanilla amberiness and some slight woodiness. That's like pencil shaving woodiness, and it just stays there. It lingers on your skin a little bit, and it kind of faints and comes back. But the performance is pretty awful for the price of this fragrance. When it comes to the clone, it has a nice brighter opening because there's more rosewood, and then when it starts to dry down a little bit, you get more of patchouli and some woods, and it smells amazing. And that patchouli is like not really super green, it's kind of like a bit fresh chocolate smelling a little bit, but not super. It's very well balanced, and it's such a smooth transition as well. And when you get to that dry down, you get some nice vanilla and a bit of woods, and it smells really good, and the performance is really good. It's a step above from the original. And the woodiness, to me, does not smell super pencil shaving-ish. It smells very high quality as well, I have to say, and smoother, in my opinion. I have to say, it's extremely hard to tell the difference in terms of quality between the original and the clone. The only main difference I can tell from the two is the way that they added two ingredients. The amounts. The clone has more rosewood than the original, whilst the original has more patchouli than the clone. But the rest of the fragrance pretty much smells exactly the same. They even perform in similar ways. The way the start is, and then the way it finishes, the way you get a wisp of that woodiness and the sillage it leaves, it's exactly the same. And I have to be quite honest, I prefer the smell of the clone to the original. Don't go crazy in the comments and say you're crazy. Nah. That rosewood smell is just delectable. It's delightful. And when they dry down, they literally smell the same. But from that top and the mid, when you get that rosewood and the balance, it's just so amazing. Don't get me wrong, Tom Ford's Oud Wood is actually a great fragrance. I used to hate on it back in the day because I never actually wore it or tried the fragrance at all. So when you never wear and try something, you're obviously going to be biased after smelling it on a paper strip. It smelled too funky, too strange, just like woods and nothing interesting and alcohol. And I was like, this is disgusting. But after I tried it and I wore it, I actually found a liking to it. And I do like it actually, better than Amin's Carved Oud, because that one has some greenness in it that I'm not a big fan of. So the clone is a bit brighter, fresher because of that rosewood, but they have the same skeleton, the same DNA. And you can tell that they replicated it very, very well. Now, when you compare the price of the two, this clone goes for $30 to $40, whilst the original is $300. Alright, yes, you heard that right, $300. Yes, the original has higher smelling quality ingredients, but that is 2% different to the ingredients and the quality of this. Especially when you're smelling it in the air, you will not tell a difference in the quality. You will not smell this and think this costs $30. You might think this is as expensive as the original. And that's just a plain fact. So keep that in mind. Also, the performance on this clone is way better than on the original. And that is crazy. For something to replicate something and perform better, that's outstanding. It's like when Club de Nuit Intense Man has better performance than the original Creed Aventus, and added on top of that, the fragrance smells like the original better than the newer batches and has that smokiness, all of that. This is probably the same thing. I don't know how the first batches of Oud would smell like, but I feel like this, in terms of the performance and smell, is just amazing. It gets so close, it's incredible. Only difference is that there's rosewood inside of it that stays way longer and gives it a nicer, sweeter smell. I think this is very good. Leaning masculine, definitely, but a woman can definitely pull it off. And I have to say, you can probably tell already how biased my opinion is, but Woody Oud is my choice over the original. I actually do prefer the smell of the clone better than the original because of the slight tweaks and the boost in performance. I would say if you do want to purchase the original, only get it if you enjoy more patchouli and because of the name Tom Ford and having the bottle and knowing that it's legitimate boosts your ego and makes you feel some type of way, go get the original. If you just want the scent, or you already have the original but you don't want to use too much of it because you only have 50 ml and you pay $300+ for it, purchase this. It will bring you the same type of smell, better performance, and you will smell confident. You will feel good because you are not spraying a $300 fragrance but a $30 to $40 fragrance that smells as good and, in my opinion, even a little better than the original. So it's a no-brainer. Is it close? Yes. 90% similar. Is it a clone? Yes, it's a clone. It's not even inspired by this. Is literally blatantly cloning even the bottle, the presentation, everything. When it gets to the dry down, actually, it's not even distinguishable. It smells exactly like the original. It just takes a bit longer to get to that point, and I do enjoy the little tweaks that this has compared to the original. I think this is almost the same case as Club de Nuit Intense and Creative Ventus. The clone is doing it better than the original. That's what I'm getting with this. 6 to 8 hours longevity compared to 4 to 6, barely even on the original. No brainer. $40 better than $300. Don't get fooled by the prices and the brands. Be due diligent. Make sure you do your research. Be smart with your purchases. At least I know for a fact I'm taking this any day over the original. That's my comparison. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Press a like, comment down below, and subscribe. Stay tuned for the full review of Woody Oud. And take care, guys. Have a great day, night, and evening.